I have never been a beautiful boy, never liked the sound of my own voice.
James Blunt, thank you so much for joining us on RT10 today. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
So let's start with the exciting news. Moon landing, the Apollo edition, it's out soon. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, well, I recorded Moon Landing, the original album, in Los Angeles with the guy who recorded my first album, Back to Bedlam. His name is Tom Rothrock, and we did that about 10 years ago, amazingly. And then we made this new album, Moon Landing, which we loved, and it's kind of like going back to the start for us before the audience were there. And really, amazingly, I suppose, the audience seemed to like it too, and people have got it and enjoyed it, and they sent me out on this incredible world tour. And while I've been on tour, I've been writing some more songs that kind of go along with the tour, and so I've recorded those. We've added them to the album, called it the Apollo edition.
I can count all the things I fear. I close my eyes, but they don't disappear.
And there's a new single coming as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a really fun song. It's called When I Find Love Again, and I suppose it's like Bonfire Heart is you know, me back on a guitar and making a racket and with a band and making a noise, and it's kind of an extension of that. And you can see that we're having fun as we've been messing around on stage, on tour. You can hear us capturing that a bit more.
You're coming to Dublin in November. What's the James Blunt World Tour? What's it like being on tour with James Blunt?
Well, tours initially, I mean, they're not the glamour that people would expect. It's kind of nitty-gritty. We live on a tour bus with 12 men in bunks the size of coffins. But we will be coming to Dublin and bringing the Moon Landing production. It's a huge, socking grey show. It looks incredible. And I'm really excited by it. It's the biggest production I've ever taken out on the road. Everywhere else has just been a rehearsal for the important place of Dublin, isn't it, in November? The crowds have been pretty good. Whether they'd be as good as an Irish crowd is yet to be seen, but I doubt it.
I have to tell you, James, I absolutely love Bones. I find myself singing it all the time. Tell me a bit about the song. It really sounds like somebody lit a fire in your soul when you were writing it.
Well, Bones is a song that keeps on being used. Just the soundtrack keeps being used on different sporting channels and stuff like that. But they've just taken my voice off the top of it and used the instrumental. I can understand why. But yeah, Bones is just a song where I've pulled out an electric guitar and made a noise and saying, you know, about how someone, when they get under your skin and gets deeper than that, really.
The song Miss America on your album, you've talked about how it's about Whitney Houston and the tragic outcome of her life. Did that really affect you?
You know, I didn't know Whitney Houston. I know as much of her music as kind of everybody does, really, which is just that incredible voice and really touching. And so, yeah, I've written a song called Miss America, which is, I suppose, about that kind of line that we draw with musicians, and sometimes we cross it. We think we know them a bit more, and with her, rather than following her art, we became interested in following her downfall, and that was a tragic thing to witness. But we witnessed it with such glee in many ways. That was what we followed and watched and concentrated on, rather than her artistry, which was sad.
But no goodbyes, you always be Miss America. We watched you fly high, but nothing's free, Miss America.
Postcards, it's on your album and it's screaming I love you. You're telling the world I love you. Would you say you're romantic yourself, James?
I think I'm not romantic at all. I think it's I find it really troublesome that I get labelled with the name a romantic when I feel anything but. If you think about my most romantic song, Goodbye My Lover, sorry, You're Beautiful, in fact. You're Beautiful is about a guy who was on drugs in the underground perving over someone else's girlfriend. That guy should be arrested, not given the title romantic.
Does that bother you, James, then, when people kind of interpret your lyrics differently to how you meant them?
I think, you know, throughout history, songs have always been sometimes misinterpreted. And as I say, You're Beautiful is a song that played at people's wedding, but it finishes with the line, I will never be with you. And, you know, and that's gone on from time immemorial. Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA wasn't a great flag-waving moment for the US. It was exactly opposite, but people misinterpret. But you know, I think you have to kind of allow them to do that, and whatever people relate to, as you say, it becomes their song.
There's another voice singing, heaven's quiet at night.
Are you still enjoying what you do, and what's the best thing about your job?
You know, I get to do what I love every day. I get up on a stage with a band and a crew who are my friends, who are more than that. We're a family on the road, and we climb on stage singing songs that I've written that we love playing, and we're so lucky that people turn up. and to go and visit some incredible places in the world, and have an audience that join in is fantastic. So to come to somewhere like Dublin in November, to play in the arena here, where that's, you know, it has to be one of the most famous musical audiences of people who love music, and music is in the Irish blood, is a huge honour and a thrill for me.
But no goodbyes, you'll always be Miss America. We watched you fly, but nothing's free, Miss America. And as you fall apart, we just call it art. Was it so hard to breathe?